Hello, Accelerated Math 6-7 students. We are working in Module 5, and this is Lesson 4. Module 5, Lesson 4 is called Nets and Surface Area. So go ahead and turn in your notes to that lesson, and I will get mine together. All right, so the name of this lesson again is Nets and Surface Area. The goal for today we will identify nets and three-dimensional figures they make and figure out the surface area. So we have a net, we're going to figure out the three-dimensional figure that they make, and then we're going to determine what the surface area is. Okay, so it's kind of fun. You see a net, hopefully you know what a net is. If you don't, then I'll help you with that. Once you have the net, then you're going to determine the areas of each piece of the net and then add it all together to figure out the surface area. So the question that I want you to be thinking about is, what do nets do to help you? All right? So things to remember. Name the figure. So if you are given this net, and I'm pretty sure that prior to 6th grade you have learned about nets before, but if not, then I can help you with that too. But if we were to take each dark line that you see on this net and fold it, what would be the shape that gets created when you fold it and put them all together? The answer to that question is a rectangular prism. Good job. So the name of this net is a rectangular prism. Okay? All right. And then the way that you explain how you know is that you've got to start recognizing these. We know that this is a long and a short. So if you think about it as a cereal box, if you were to flatten a cereal box without cutting anything, just flattening it, and then take your finger and run it along the seam so that it can lay out flat, this is what it would look like. Okay, if you've never done it, try it. It's pretty fun. So explain how you know. The way that we know is by identifying the parts. Identifying the parts. Okay? And what you need to know about something else, whenever you have a rectangular prism, it's going to have 6 faces. So let's count them. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5, and here's 6. So it has 6 faces. Okay? How do you know how much space is covered? Okay? Well, what you do to figure out how much space is covered is you take the area of each face. So we're going to take the length and the width of this area. We're going to take the length and the width of this area, 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 the length and the width of this area. Okay? And so we do that 6 times, and once we have the areas of each of them, we add them all together. So how do you know how much space is covered? Is you find the area for each face and add. Pretty simple. As long as you can keep track of them, it's pretty simple. All right. So then the next thing that they're asking us to do is they say, okay, well, let's see if you truly know what you're doing. Draw a net for the figure. Okay, we have a rectangular prism, and this right here I would say is, maybe we're going to call that the front. So if we take a look at this, we have a little one, right? That's this one. Then we have a long one, right? Then we have another little one, and then we have one more long one. And then we have a side and a side. Okay? And that's how you draw it. So remember, how many do you have to have? 6. Do we have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ta-da! And you drew a net. Okay? Some things that I like to do to help me is I label it. So this would be the front, because it's right there. Behind it would be the back, so this is the back. This one is the top, so we're going to write top right here. So if this is the top, what does this one have to be? The bottom. Good job. This is the right side. And this one right here is the left side. Okay? And now you've identified all the faces of your net. Okay? So the last thing that it asks us to do is find the surface area of the figure. Okay, now we've got it. We take the area of each rectangle. And we know that the area of a rectangle is length times width. So for the front, I'm going to do length times width. For the back, I'm going to do length times width. For the top, I'm going to do length times width. For the bottom, I'm going to do length times width. For the right side, I'm going to do length times width. And for the left side, I'm going to do length times width. Okay, so look at the front. This was the front. So the length is 2, and the width is 5. Okay, back, it's exactly the same as the front, so I have to do 2 times 5. The top, here's the top over here, so this is a 2 times 8, and the bottom is exactly the same as the top, so I'm doing 2 times 8. The right side, well, this is 5, and this is 8, so we have 5 times 8. And the left side is exactly the same as the right side, so 5 times 8. Do you see how easy this is? Okay, well, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 8 is 40. And now I add them all together. 0 plus 0 plus 6 plus 6 plus 0 plus 0 is 12. Okay, regroup the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I now know, because it's centimeters, that the surface area for this right rectangular prism is 132 centimeters squared, because I'm finding area, and area always means squared. Even if it's surface area, it's still squared. So we just figured it out. This prism right here has a surface area of 132 centimeters squared. Okay? All right, so let's look. I have one more page that we need to try it with. Okay, so determining surface area using nets. Here are some steps that you can follow. Step 1, count the faces of the figure. Step 2, identify the shape of each face. Step 3, find the area of each shape. And step 4, add all the areas together. So we're going to try this one. So the first thing that it says is count the faces. So count with me. 1, 2, front and back. Bottom is 3, right side is 4, left side is 5. So there's only 5 faces when you have a triangular prism, right? Okay, so we counted the faces, there's 5. Identify the shape of each face. So if we have a front right there, it's a triangle. Okay, this is going to help us. The back is also a triangle. The bottom is a rectangle. Okay, the right side is a rectangle, and the left side is a rectangle. And we have all 5 faces. Okay, and now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to find the area of each face. Well, we remember when we're finding the area of a triangle that we take the length times the width, and then we divide it by 2. So we do that again for the back. The length times the width divided by 2. Then for the rectangle, you take the length times the width. Rectangle is length times the width. Rectangle is length times the width. Okay, that's not so bad. So let's look at the triangle first. It says it's 8 here and 3 here. So I'm going to take 8 times 3. I'm going to divide it by 2. I'm going to take 8 times 3, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. Now I have to look at the rectangle. So I know right here, let's say they forgot to write in the dimensions. So let's say this is a, let's say that this is a 4. Okay, 4 centimeters, because it looks like it's missing. All right, so we're going to say that that side right there is 4 centimeters. So for this rectangle, it's going to be 4 times 12. And this side is exactly the same. That's what these little tick marks mean. If they have little tick marks like this, it means that both of them are 4. And we know the length is the same. So this one would be 4 times 12. And then this rectangle on the bottom is 8 by 12. Okay, so here's your task, okay, and we will check it in the morning. You need to do this little operation for each face, and then don't forget, add them all together. And when you add them all together, that will give you the surface area for this triangular prism. Now remember, we're finding surface area. So what does your unit of measure have to be? Centimeters squared, because area is always squared. Okay? So this is what you're going to do. I will look in your notes when we are checking, and that's what you should come up with when you're finding the surface area. Okay? That's all I have for you. Let's go back and make sure that we covered our goal for today. Today we will identify nets and the three-dimensional figure they make and figure out the surface area. Did we do that? Right on, we did. All right, what do nets do to help you? My biggest answer to that question is that they show you all of the parts. That's what nets are fabulous for, because they show you all the parts. They show you the top, the bottom, the front, the back, the left, and the right, and all of that good stuff so that you can actually see it. Okay? All right, my dears, that's all I have for you. I'll see you later. Bye.